Hi ladies! I had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I'm running a few minutes behind, but that's okay. If you are watching the replay here, let me know. I almost said drop a 1. I so hate that, you guys, and you know that, and I almost said it. Someday I'm going to catch myself and I'm going to say it, but just let me know that you're here and you're watching. Say hello, say hi. Here I am. Hi, Miss Brittany. When I said I wasn't going to go all Britney on you guys, I meant Britney Spears, not Brittany, because our Britney's awesome. So anyway, I'm gonna try really hard not to be shaky because I'm in my car waiting for my kids to get out of piano practice, so I'm holding my phone. Hello, Danielle. So I want to start this off, you guys, by saying one thing. We're going to talk about some common mistakes that people have made, that I see people make, either company specific or like network marketing as a whole. And I want to just say one thing, that every single one of us has made some of these mistakes along the way, at least one, if not more. And I do want you to remember that, and that there may be somebody watching that has made 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of these mistakes. So I am going to ask that we keep I want the feedback. I want to hear what you guys have to say. As always, please don't hesitate to comment. But I do want you to keep in mind that I just keep it respectful, right? There might be someone on here that has done one of these things and they might really bother you or whatever, but like, just, you know, pretend that it's you and keep it respectful is all that I ask. So, we are going to go through some of this. And the other thing is, you guys, if you are somebody that has done these things, again, we've all done some of them, right? It's not a big deal. Like, this is not a, let's, you know, bash anybody. This is like, hey, these are really common things that people do that inhibits. No, it's not calling anyone out, Brittany. It's really common things that people do that inhibits their business. And I just want to help you guys, right? And I have done plenty of these myself, so guilty all along the way, right? Okay. So the first couple ones, I have 3 that I want to talk about that are very company specific, okay? And talking about the company and product names, right? The first one is, the company is Red Aspen, not Red Aspen Love. So if you say, I joined this new company, Red Aspen Love, that would be incorrect. That is simply the website, redaspenlove.com. The company is Red Aspen. Our eyeliner is Asha's ink eyeliner. It is not Asha. That's number 2. And honestly, if you guys aren't sure on the pronunciation of something, I would ask before you hop on a live. And we have a very beautiful lash that is called Priya, not Priya. So I have heard lots of people do all 3 of those. So if you're one of them, please don't take it personally. Okay. So let's talk, you guys. And I really, sorry, palm of my hand. I was dropping my phone. I would really love some, seriously, Brittany? I'm dying. That's what I was gonna ask. Yes, it is Priya. So, and honestly, I may have pronounced it wrong myself had I not like heard Jessie say it before I ever saw it in print. So I want to talk about, I think I have 10 things here. I'm going to call it what I call the top 10 network marketing fails as a whole, and we'll talk about how they relate to our business. And this, you know what, you guys, I love that I'm seeing some of you guys put in the comments, you know, I did that, or I'm guilty of that. I really, like, I think it's awesome to be able to, you know, if you watch me at all or you follow me in real life, you know that I'm all about laughing at myself. And I also think for somebody else that may have done one of these things, it's really good for them to hear, like, hey, I did that too, right? So let's just call ourselves out, right? If you don't want to, that's okay, but I will. Okay, so one common thing that I see, and we see this a lot in like health and wellness companies, you guys, is people overinflating their product, right? And I know that you all know what I'm talking about, right? Where you're like, okay, she's totally sucking in that second picture, right? I might have to plug my phone in here in a minute. I'm going to say specifically to our company, when I see people posting that they have worn the lashes 20, 25, 35 times, guys, please don't do that. That may be true for you, but don't put it out there on social media. If you want to tell, your best friend one-off, listen, I got a lot more uses out of these, you can. But you are setting an unrealistic expectation with your customers, and they're going to end up being disappointed, and it's going to come back to bite you in the butt. I'm also going to say that wearing the same pair of lashes 25 times is probably not the most sanitary thing in the world, but I digress. And you, like I said, you may very well have gotten that many wears out of that pair of lashes. But the average person is not going to, and that is why we have the sheet out there that says, how many wears. Yeah, Cassandra, you know what I say? Depending on the lash, right? If they're asking about something super delicate, like, Mina, or Andy or something like that, I will say you're going to get less wears out of this lash. And you have to have the confidence to say that, you guys. It is what it is, right? But by not wanting to say that because we think that's going to deter them, we're not doing anybody any favors. You're just setting yourself up for failure, right? So, what I would say, and this came up a lot when we were at like the vendor fairs, because people bring it up all the time. So what I would say is that, again, depending on the lash, if they're talking about Mina or something, I would say less. But if you're talking to a lot of people at one time, I would say it depends on the lash. For most lashes, the company says, about 5 to 10 wears. I sometimes tend to get more than that out of them, but that, and you can with good care, but that's what the company says the average is. So Laura, that's a really good point. And that's actually what I was going to touch on next, was by feeling, if you feel like you have to say that it can be worn 25 times, you don't feel the value in the product yet. And that's something that you need to find. You need to find value within the product, within yourself, right? So I think that's really, really, really important. And when we have the value in it and we believe in what we're selling at the price that we're selling it and all of that, we don't feel the need to kind of overinflate it, right? So that's that one. Number 2, this is going to hit a sore spot with some people, and I'm very sorry. But promoting multiple companies. I am not saying that it cannot be done. What I will tell you is building a network marketing business as a whole is hard enough. If anybody told you girls that this was going to be a cakewalk and you didn't have to work at it and you just paid your $110 and you were going to turn into a millionaire, they freaking lied to you. So you should punch them in the face. No, don't really punch them in the face, but they lied to you. This, just like anything that has the potential of being very big and bringing really good results, right? It is hard work. Just like any job that pays off is hard work. And building 2 network marketing companies at the same time is, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's nearly impossible, right? You also lose, you lose credibility with your customers. People don't understand what it is that you're promoting and what you're doing. So, unless you're making like a transition from one to the other or something like that, I'm just going to tell you guys, and most of the time it doesn't work. And go out and find me somebody that's incredibly successful in network marketing that really, really promotes multiple companies and is incredibly successful in, one or the other. And I'll eat my words, but it just doesn't happen really. So I know that's a sore spot for some of you guys, but the other thing is there's only so much of you to go around. You only have so many hours in the day. And there's only so much of you to go around. So if you are spreading yourself too thin and you're putting a little bit here and you're putting a little bit here, you're planting a seed over here and you're planting a seed over here and you're planting a seed over here, you can have a pretty flower here and a pretty flower here and a pretty flower here, or you can plant all of those flowers in one place and have a beautiful garden. That's the best analogy that I can give you. So that's number 2. Number 3 kind of goes hand in hand with that, but company jumping, right? When you are one that is quick to jump from company to company, you really, really, really lose credibility with your market, right? They see it as, and we've all heard this before, right? You lose credibility with your market. They think of it as just one more thing that you're doing, right? And you're not going to be doing it very long, but, pretty soon you'll be on to the next thing, and it just doesn't seem, you lose the passion that you have behind it, right? The other thing is, you guys, you're never really giving yourself a chance. You're never giving that seed a chance to grow, right? Like if we want to go back to the garden analogy, it's literally like planting a garden and then the next week moving to a new house. You're never giving that seed a chance to grow. And I will tell you guys, once you get to a certain point, you build your team to a certain point and it starts to grow a lot faster. And so you're really doing yourself a disservice, by doing a little bit here and then a little bit here. I mean, it's the same idea as multiple companies, really. So, the other thing is, if you guys follow, anything business related, they say that it takes any new business, whether it is, network marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, social selling, or whether you go out and invest $100,000 of your own money into a brand new business, it takes 99% of the time, it takes 1 to 3 years to truly grow any business, which honestly just speaks volumes to the company that we're with, because that's not the case. But to prove yourself and establish yourself in any business, most businesses don't even turn a profit for the first year. So, really think about that, in how you're approaching this. And I will say, I have told girls, if you're not willing to give this a year, I wouldn't even bother. I mean, it sounds harsh, but the truth of the matter is, if you're not willing to give it a year, it's not that important to you. I mean, it's like weight loss, right? Like, you don't see the results in a week. It just doesn't work that way. And if you are, if you see your husband every day, he may not notice so much if you lose 20 pounds because he sees you every day. But if you compare a side-by-side picture of you from one year to the next, it's a huge difference, right? Because you've grown it over time. So that's number 3. Number 4 is not being coachable. You guys, I do see this a lot. It is sometimes hard for some of us to take constructive criticism, or maybe we did it well with another company, a variety of different things, right? Maybe it's something that happened in your life and you just don't take constructive criticism well. But I will tell you that nobody has all the answers, me included. I have coaching calls. You have to be able to work on yourself and admit that you don't have all the answers, right? Everyone needs growth. Nobody gets any farther than where they are right now by staying the same. So you 100% have to be coachable. You have to be open to hearing different ideas. And maybe that's coachable from your sponsor, your upline. Maybe that's coachable from your peers, right? Like, you just have to be able to hear things and understand that they're being meant for the greater good, right? And you have to just look at yourself and be able to laugh at yourself and say, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect. And, yeah, listen, I have taken constructive criticism from many y'all. Oh, I just spit on my phone. It is not uncommon for me to get a message from somebody. Oh, hold on. I dropped my paper. With this many people in this group and say, hey, you know what? You said this and it kind of bothered me, or I'm afraid that maybe somebody took that the wrong way, or could you do this differently? And I'm totally open to feedback from all of you guys, and I appreciate it. So, because I want to grow and I want to get better, and I totally don't have all the answers. So that's number 4. Number 5, similar, but not the same. You have to realize that you can't do it all on your own, right? You can't be a loner, and you can't sit out on an island by yourself. This is, whether we want to admit it or not, you guys, the whole basis behind what we're doing is network marketing, right? And that doesn't just apply to us and our customers, that applies to us as well. There is strength in numbers. That is one of the things that I love most about this group, and the fact that we are all here, is that we have an amazing group of leaders and an amazing group of women, all of whom, just talking about, constructive criticism, all of whom's feedback and opinions are not only, they're not tolerated, they're welcomed, right? And that is because 500 heads in this group, or 440, or how many people are in this group, are better than one. There is strength in numbers. We are a team. We do this together. We build it together. And that's just how it works. And that's why it works, right? So if you think that you're going to do this and you're going to do this well by going out on an island and doing it all yourself, you're crazy wrong. And everything that every single one of us posts on social media or anywhere else helps all of us. That's part of the, awesomeness of network marketing also, right? Is the more that people hear the name of the company, maybe you have a friend that just didn't want to try something because it sounded brand new and you were promoting like the 5th thing that you have promoted this year, right? But now as she's hearing it all over the place, it's like, oh, maybe like that is legit, right? So strength in numbers. You cannot be out on an island all by yourself. And here's another big piece to that, you guys. We all have bad days, right? We all have bad days. We're all going to have bad months. And as this progresses, you might even have a bad year, right? There are ups and downs, and I've been in many, many different types of sales, not just network marketing in my life. There's always highs and lows, whether it's because it's seasonal or you had something going on in your life or whatever. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. And when you jump into this group and you say, I had a bad day today, right? Or you see someone else's inspiration, it lifts you back up. When you go do a vendor event with someone else, whether it's a peer or someone in your downline or your upline or whatever, you feel good about this again. We are a girl gang, and that's part of what makes this so awesome. So if you think you're going to go out on an island and do it by yourself, you're missing a huge part of what this is all about. And there's nobody there to lift you up on the bad days. And eventually you will throw in the towel and quit. That's just how it works. So, okay. Number 6, not targeting the right people. I see this very commonly, and I think what most people think that I mean is in customers, right? So you're really, pushing for your aunt to buy lashes because you think that she'll buy anything, that you put out there, and she's not going to buy lashes because she doesn't wear an ounce of makeup. And I'm not saying we don't have girls that wear our lashes that don't generally wear makeup, because we do. Or your sister-in-law is a total tomboy and couldn't give 2 craps about lashes, right? Like, I realize that we want to make people feel beautiful, that maybe haven't felt it before, but there is also just a certain demographic of people that are like not going to wear our lashes, right? My grandma loves them, but she's never going to get up and put them on in the morning. It's just not going to, because she can't see. So, there's another side to that though, you guys, and I see this really commonly and I never really hear it talked about. From a recruiting standpoint, most people, you guys, recruit down. You recruit people, you go after people. And I'm not saying like, to turn anybody away, but there's something in our DNA, maybe a fear of rejection, right? That we recruit people that are either like socially, like economically below us. And this sounds so bad. I don't mean it to sound catty in any capacity, but it's a true thing that happens, right? We're afraid to go after people that are from a higher social status, or we recruit people that have not done well with other companies and say, hey, you could do well here, right? Instead of recruiting people that are doing very well with other companies and giving them every reason that they should come to Red Aspen, right? Or instead of, we recruit people that don't have any money and say, hey, you could come here and make a bunch of money, instead of, hold on. Hi, ladies. Hi. My kids are getting in the car. Instead of recruiting people that already have money, right? And then they have friends that have money, so people buy. Everybody sees you, Audrey. Sit down and buckle. So that's a really common mistake, you guys. Like if you're go after people that are going to be really successful on your team. And I don't mean that to turn anybody away, right? Or to not offer the opportunity to someone that needs it rather than wants it. But when you're only recruiting that way, you're not giving yourself the chance to be really successful. Yeah, exactly, Cheryl. And, most of the time listen, those people are being successful somewhere. Somebody's going to approach them. So you might as well make it you. So that is number 6. Number 7, you guys, stopping and starting. So stopping your business and starting it again, right? And I had it written down to say, treating it like a hobby and not a job. While I realize that this is a side gig for some people, and that is perfectly okay. If you want this to be your side gig, that is perfectly okay. And I think, a really good example is, if you play sports, right? If you're a bowler, right? Maybe you don't want to be an Olympic bowler, right? But you bowl on the weekends, okay? You're a weekend bowler. You want to be a pretty good bowler, so you go bowling every weekend, right? That's okay. The weekends, and I'm not saying only work your business on the weekends, but if you go bowling every weekend, you're going to continue to become a better bowler, right? If you go bowling once every couple of months, you're not going to be a very good bowler. And you're definitely not going to be as good as the guy that goes bowling every weekend, right? So I would treat it as a job. Doesn't have to be your full-time job. More power to you if it is. But even if it's a part-time job, treat it as a job. And that means show up when you say you're going to show up. So make a commitment to yourself or to your accountability partner or, whatever you want to come up with, right? And commit to whatever it is that you're willing to do. The other piece that I will say is you cannot expect full-time job results if you're only willing to give it part-time job effort, right? The two are going to go hand in hand. Does not mean that you can't build the team. It does not mean that you can't eventually get here. I just want you to be really honest with yourself about what it is that you're willing to do and the effort that you're willing to put in versus what you expect to get out of it. That's going to keep you from getting frustrated. And that's a conversation that you should have with your upline about where you can expect to be in a month, 6 months, or a year based on the amount of effort that you're willing to put into it. So there's that. Okay. I'm trying to move on fairly quickly for you guys today. Number 8 is reinventing the wheel. You guys, you do not have to reinvent the wheel, okay? We have group pop-ups that work. We have personal pop-ups that work, right? We have social media images that we put out there for you guys. So many people make it so much harder than it needs to be because they want to recreate the wheel, right? They want it to be like, my idea is what got us over the top, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like that's ego and you're letting it get in the way of your success, right? You don't even realize it, but it is. Sorry, my hand's getting shaky. Don't let that get in the way of your success. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Now, granted, we live in a world of technology and social media, and there are new things out there to us, but you guys, and I'm not saying you can't do any of that. At the end of the day, you need to get people. Sales and recruiting is what builds this business, right? Selling to people and building your team is what builds this business. Those should be your biggest focuses. And we work for a company, you guys, where we don't have to recreate the wheel. It's like out there, right? Our group pop-ups, they work, right? Talk to somebody that is doing well on the team, in the company, whatever, and ask them what they're doing. They're not trying to recreate the wheel, I assure you. And there is nothing wrong with following a proven model, right? You just don't spend, we've talked about it a million times. Most people spend 80% of their time doing things that deliver 20% of their results and vice versa, right? So flip that and make sure that you are spending 80% of your time doing 80% of doing what brings you 80% of your results, and you're going to succeed. That's just all there is to it, okay? Number 9. What was number 9? Oh, girl, not following up. Y'all hear me say this all the time. 1 second, baby. Y'all hear me say this all the time. I had a conversation with one of you the other day, who I'm not going to call her out. And I know she wouldn't mind me sharing this, who said, you know, this girl reached out to me, about, she's a dance mom or a dance teacher or something. And she reached out to me about, you know, oh, you should set something up for all of us dance moms in town. And I messaged her back and she didn't respond to me. And, you know, now, I just, you know, I don't want to bother her. I'm like, girl, she reached out to you. Like, we get busy. I am notorious for forgetting to respond to a message or something, because I got, you know, 500 of you and 3 of my kids and a husband, and, you know, life is crazy, right? And so do not be afraid to follow up with people. You guys, is there a line between being like crazy annoying? Somebody tells you no, cool, move on, right? It's not personal. Just get over it and go on about your business. You don't have to be annoying, right? And there is a line. And if you don't know what that line is, then we can talk about that one off. But I feel like most of us have enough. If you feel like you are socially awkward and you don't know what that line is, that's okay. We can talk about it, right? But I feel like most of us realistically know what that is. If I'm wrong, let me know. But do not be afraid to follow up. Do not have the mentality of, if they wanted it, they would have reached out to me. That's not true. That is 100% not true. I buy stuff from people all the time that follow up with me, and I say, oh my God, I'm so glad you called. I totally meant to do that, and then I just got busy and it slipped my mind. Or I've thought about it 5 times and I just keep forgetting because I'm so crazy. You know, every time I go to do it, my phone rings or whatever. So do not be afraid to follow up with people. If you do not follow up with people, you are taking things that you have spent precious time. Your time is precious, you guys. And you are taking your time that you have spent doing things and you are letting it go. It's like taking all the time to fill up a balloon and just letting it go, letting it fly away, right? Take back what's yours. You put the time into cultivating that. Do not let it get away. Okay. Number 10, we will dive into this one more, but one of the biggest things that I see in this industry, is social media related, and is, not using attraction marketing on your social media. And that means, I don't know, Brittany, I just pulled these things out of my butt. And I'm not sure if some of us just don't understand what that means, right? If you go, again, we will touch on this more, but I want to give you guys the basics of what I'm talking about. Okay. A couple things. And I mean this in a couple ways. Number one, if you go to your Facebook page and it looks like an ad, flyers, links to your website, right? Nobody wants to talk to a billboard, right? Like, it's not personal. It's not relatable. It's like literally like just shoving a newspaper in somebody's face, right? Nobody wants to see that, not in person and not on social media, right? Here's another thing. If I go to your Facebook page and I can't really tell that you love lashes, you got a problem. That means you are either not doing it at all, or you are only promoting yourself in a separate group. And let's talk about that. You guys, I know some of you love your groups, and that's okay if that works for you. If it's not working for you, I would really take a gander at it, right? Here's what I'm going to say. If you want this to be a side business for you, okay? You want to make a little extra cash. You want to get to a certain point. Cool. Go, and you don't want it on your personal page for whatever reason. You don't want your boss to know, or whatever, right? You don't want the people you work with to know you're doing this for other reasons. Great. Keep your group. Go do that. If you want to really get ahead and go and really truly make it in this business with not just this company, but in this business and in this industry, it's a part of you and it's a part of who you are. And if you're not willing to put that out there, you need to ask yourself why. Why are you so afraid to put it out there? I love this company. I will shout it from the rooftops. I love these lashes. I will shout it from the rooftops. You need to ask yourself why you are so afraid. Just one more second, baby. I'm on number 10, okay? The piano teacher probably thinks I'm crazy because we're sitting in her driveway. You need to ask yourself why you're so afraid to put it out there personally, right? If it's because you're afraid to appear spammy to people, we use that word so much, spammy, then you're not doing it the right way, okay? And that is something that we can talk through 100%, right? That is something you can talk through with your upline 100%. But you guys, again, go find, I think maybe Laura or somebody just said this, but you go find, I don't care what company it is, you go find anybody that is really, truly successful, even 6-figure, 7-figure earners in network marketing, and you go follow them. They are not promoting this in separate groups. They're just not. Here's the deal. On top of the fact that you do it that way, and the only people that are ever going to see that are the people in your group. Hello? You're only reaching the people you've already reached. Hello? You're not going to grow your network that way, right? The other thing is when you do that, Facebook is making changes all the time, you guys, and we don't know what changes are going to come down the pipeline, right? Like, we can assume, we've all heard a lot of different things, that they're going to block external links and things like that. We don't know for sure until it actually happens, right? Facebook may change what they do with groups, right? Facebook may go away altogether at some point, right? So what you need to be doing is creating your brand and building relationships with people. Pretend that if Facebook fell off the face of the earth tomorrow, these people would want to go seek you out because you personally brought them something, right? So, I will do that, Laura. So, that is like just the tip of the iceberg with that, you guys. There is so much, like I said, I think it is time for us to get back into a whole social media training series that we've kind of stopped and started a couple times just because people get busy, but it's definitely a huge focus. And I know that some of you guys don't really know where to start with that. I would say start by following the people that do it, and don't copy them per se, but use them as inspiration. Your Facebook page, your profile, right? Whatever profile, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, should leave people wanting to see more of you. Okay. It should intrigue their interest about lashes, right? You don't have to, I don't believe in being the person that like hides the company that you're with. I don't like that. And I think it seems very, cliche and slimy. I think it feels slimy when people won't say what the name of the company is or what they're doing, right? But you also don't have to plaster it everywhere. You're building your brand, and that's incredibly important. It is okay to build you. It is sketchy, Laura. It is. I hate that more than anything. People are like, I'm doing this thing, right? And they won't say what it is. I hate it. And it doesn't mean that you can't sometimes do posts to pique interest, right? But there's no reason to hide who you're with, but there's also no reason to make everything look like a billboard. So you have to find that happy medium in between the two. Along with that, you guys, we all go through stuff in life, right? Good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And, part of being real on Facebook and associating with people is putting the real you out there. And not, I think gone are the days of network marketers making it look like everything's peachy all the time, right? Especially our market. You guys, our market is moms and, wives, and like life isn't freaking perfect all the time, right? And that's okay. But there's a way to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And it doesn't mean if you are going live or posting and it's, oh my God, everything's so awful, and you're just like, my life sucks, and I just, I don't know, why my life sucks so bad. Nobody wants to see that, and nobody wants to follow you if all you do is talk about how bad your life sucks, right? But if you get on there and you say, I've had some real trials that I've gone through, and I know we all have, but here's 5 things that I did today to make myself feel better, and I want to inspire somebody else to look at the bright side of things. Here's something really crappy that happened, and here's the bright side of it. And, this is what I'm doing to pick myself up. And, I hope that other women can do the same, or, something like that. It's hard to give a specific example, but, focus on the bright side of it, and I don't just mean like, oh, my life sucks, but at least my lashes are great, right? Like, you can throw that little plug in there, but until you get to a point where you can, 1 second, baby. No, not right now. Until you get to a point where you can really do that genuinely from a place in your heart, you can't reiterate it to other people, right? So, I would highly work on, self-growth and positivity and that sort of thing. And also energy is a big one, because some people come across like, oh my God, everything's so awful, and they don't even mean it that way, right? So that kind of goes in hand with all the social media stuff. Have some energy, you guys. I say it all the time. Feel like you have 200% energy, like you're being over the top cheesy, and 100% of it will come across. Like, whatever it is, cut it in half. So if you feel like you're going on with 100%, energy, like only 50% of it comes across. I swear that's how it works. So that's my mathematical equation anyway. So those are the biggest things that I have right now, you guys. I hope that you got something out of this. Audrey really wants to get in on this training, so I hope that you got something on this. This is clearly not like, a cover it all type thing, but I hope that we got something out of it. I hope everybody knows how to say Priya, and that our company name is Red Aspen, and that it's Asha's ink eyeliner also. So, do me a favor, and if you can, drop me a comment or 2 or 3 with your biggest takeaways from this, because I would really, really like to know. So, I love you girls so very much. More to come as always, and peace out. Audrey, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.